Well, as you can see, this is the Co-op Grand Marché and Dunelm store, and it's a strange shop because they don't have conventional staircases for public use. They have travelators. Now, it's generally speaking, the standard is very good in here. The Co-op has got the circulation spaces are kept clear. Of course, there's no staircases to block. But I gather, I gather that if in the event of emergency or fire, I'm waiting for confirmation, that travelators and the lifts would stop and people would use the emergency staircases, which are there, but they're hidden away they're a bit hidden in the corners. Now, from the shop itself, on the ground floor here, the Co-op shop, they're quite easy to find, but when you get up into the Dunelm section, it's a bit like cavernous. The circulation routes have got shopping or goods for sale stacked very high all around. You can't really see where you're going. Now, obviously, if you're walking around and you're reasonably able, you probably find your way out, maybe. But if there's a panic and there's trolleys, persons with disabilities, people with walking frames, children, if there was a panic, I would have my doubts about the Dunelm shop. I find that a little bit worrying. It may be the staff are very well trained and they will make sure everybody gets out if the bell goes off. But the shop generally, this sets a very good high standard. I couldn't see if there was a sprinkler system. I don't think there is. Maybe there is. It wasn't obvious. The toilets so far I found on the Dunelm level are very nice. There's no changing places toilet. There's a couple of children's changing facilities and a disabled person's toilet. I haven't carried out an inspection, that's not today's brief. But as a big store, they ought to have a changing places facility. But if the standard of the rest of the shops is the same as this, they'll be pretty good. Well, I don't know if disability can be fun, but at least the lady's trimmed up for Christmas with walking sticks. Well, this is Roadside Rubber's shop. Just a little quick whiz around. Very neat shop, excellent circulation, no clutter that I could see. Stairways kept clear, no rubbish on the stairs, no decoration on the stairs, good clear handrails. Nothing to criticise it really. I was delighted to find that they're selling in there bidet toilets. It's a standard item. They don't just sell them for disabled purposes. Lots of people buying them, so you can wash when you're sitting on the toilet. It washes you. Obviously a great problem if you're disabled, but they've got them in there in stock. They've got toilets for the customers using them, but they don't apparently have a disabled person's toilet, so obviously they wouldn't have a changing places toilet. They also got a note there about if there is a fire, the wheelchair, the lift, they have a lift to take you upstairs, but apparently it stops, so they have a means of getting people out. But I mean, they're showing me they have people trained to do that. They apparently don't have a sprinkler system. But again, another shop, very well laid out, very neat, plenty of room. Highly recommended. Well, there's another old established Jersey shop. Voisins, as they say, voisins, presumably if you're from France. Nice level entrance, of course, we expect that. Pretty good inside. Staircases are clear, a little bit of decoration on one, the main staircase, but pretty safe. No junk put on the staircases. They've got a couple of lifts, one's very small. Circulation, some of it is very generous, so there was no problem there, no things lying on the floor to trip over. Generally speaking, very good. But the access up to the cafe is rather mediocre. The toilets are appalling. They need to be scrapped. Very poor access. They're not quite sure whether the lifts stop. The small lift going up to the cafe is pretty much useful for nothing. Staircases there, steps up, not very good at all. Poor signposting. They have a sprinkler system in there, so that's good. So again, another shop which is doing its best, I think, for to make themselves attractive and safe. It can be done. Well, we just had a little look through Gruchy, as it's now. It's Digu, it's still called Digu. Established 1810. Very impressed. Again, circulation routes all nice and clear, staircases clear, no debris, nothing to trip over as far as I could see. They're very impressive. I went into they got a toilet facility, but I know they have a disabled persons part M standard toilet, which needs a little bit of attention because they've got where you transfer onto the toilet, they've got the usual rubbish bin put there and such like. And also I had to unwind the emergency pull because that was wrapped up out the way. Probably the cleaners do that. They don't realise it has to go down to the floor. The purpose being if somebody's collapsed, they're on the floor. Now in here, the same as the co-op, the lifts and the escalators in here, they have escalators, not travelators. They stop, but they have refuge points in here to get people out. So that's okay, and they have staff who are trained. They also have a sprinkler system, which is very good. I mean, a very good shop altogether. I think people can feel quite safe in that shop. Well, here, look, this is Boots. A shop with a very old Jersey ancestry to it. Level entrance here, but mixed entrances. Somewhere it's steps there. You enter the building on several different levels, so they can't overcome that. I presume it's a listed building. The circulation inside quite good. Staircases are all clear. There's no decorations, nothing to inhibit up and down the stairs. I've got a couple of lifts in there. Bit confusing circulation inside. The lifts apparently stop if there's an emergency. You have to be assisted out of the building. Now, I don't know how many persons in wheelchairs or disabled persons using frames, children in pushchairs, all that sort of thing would need assistance, and I suspect that the staff are all trained in that facility. Generally quite good. I couldn't see a sprinkler system. What else to say about it? I mean, it's not for me to say, it's not part of this. There's no public toilets at all, so therefore there's no changing places facility. That's something which ought to be addressed, I would think. They're providing lots of medical type of services, pharmacy, eyes, different facilities like that, so I would have thought they might have had decent toilets in there. That's the thing, I can't quite think of it. It's okay, it's not top of the league, a little bit tatty inside, but what else to say? I would think it's reasonably safe. Well, here's the USC store, which is a fashion store. It used to be BHS in the old days. Obviously good level access, no problem. It's loads of space inside. The circulation space is excellent. There are no public toilets at all in this building, which is rather strange. Of course, there used to be when it was BHS, but that was a long time ago, nearly 10 years ago. There's an escalator, but that's been discontinued. That's no longer used. There's no sprinkler system as far as I can make out. So it's a staircase, a good wide staircase, up to first floor, which is the first floor is an extraordinarily huge space, all on the level. Everything is £5, and it must be a huge bargain for lots of people. All sorts of clothes at £5 a time now. They need sorting out, but very accessible. There's a lift access to the first floor. Now they have a team that will take you out, an emergency team if there is a fire. They have a team, anybody in a wheelchair they will take out, presumably the same for anybody in a pushchair pram. So they will bring them out, lift them out, carry them out. So they have that procedure in place, but obviously if the lift is stopped, you can't use the lift. So generally speaking, a very plain sort of shop, but very accessible. Again, no, I can't find any real faults. It needs toilets, desperately needs toilets, and ought to have a changing places toilet. But that's it. That's USC. Well, this is Marks and Spencer's. As far as I know, it's still a franchise. It's not actually part of the UK group, but I might be wrong on that. Good level entrances, which you would expect. Generally speaking, the circulation's quite clear inside. Some of it's a bit narrow for wheelchair users, people pushing prams. Little dead ends you come to sometimes. The staircases are clear. There's an escalator which presumably will stop. There's a lift which presumably also will stop in the case of emergency. I couldn't see a sprinkler system. I don't know what, I wasn't able to inquire what happens in the case of an emergency, how people have got out if they have disabilities, but I would hope that a store of this stature has all that sorted out, but you never know. It's all down to the individual staff, of course. Toilets were very poor, right at the back of the shop, hidden away, male, female, and the baby changing unit. I wasn't able to look in there to see what was going on. I don't know if there's another one somewhere. But loads of space at the back of the shop, which could easily allow for much larger and much better facilities. It's a very busy shop, loads of people in there. I noticed quite a lot of people with visible mobility disabilities, so there's quite a lot of need for disability, mobility awareness. Generally quite good. I would think it's again another one of these safe shops, but you never know until you try it, do you? You can suddenly get a fire and you have to evacuate lots of people. There you are, rather difficult to do it. But there we are. Anyway, all the shops I've looked at achieve a reasonable standard. Not much clutter on the ground. So there we are. That's the big stores. I haven't looked at the small stores. There's far too many of them. Some of them are good. Some of them are very indifferent. The toilet facilities wasn't part of my brief today, but I thought whilst I was doing it, I'd have a look. It's always an issue, so to speak. Here we are. Bye.